You like Mark Knopfler?
I don't know who that is, but it sounds good.
He plays with Eric Clapton on this song. It's called Someday.
Nice.
Great tune.
I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan.
All right. So, everybody, welcome to another edition of Rec Tech Live here on a special Tuesday morning edition. Excuse me. Coming at you live from CT and Boston, where Joe is. So, just a quick shout out. Let's see who's here on the call. Short notice for this call, but Jason, I see Jason and Andy are here, and Angie and Daniel. How's it going, guys? Good to join us. Quick shout out to my friends over at Emissary. If you need text recruiting, check them out, emissary.ai. So today we're going to talk about this technology that Joe has. This is Joe Nigro, by the way. Say hello, Joe.
Hey, everybody.
And it's kind of interesting because recently over on Recruiting Headlines, I wrote a post called One ATS Supply to Rule Them All. And that was in January. And then I ran into Joe Nigro and what they're doing at WorkToday. So I want to kind of set the stage first, Joe, and read what my article says, because I think it goes to the point of what you guys are doing there overall. So, all right. So it starts out by saying, for too long, the average job seeker has had to navigate a myriad of logins from disparate systems of record, forced to create and remember passwords and usernames in order to apply. But jumping through these hoops has made job search a painful one for candidates. And it's time to start reversing that trend. The login to apply feature prominent on most applicant tracking systems as an element of days gone by. It's a relic of software past. And if I had a choice, I would ban this barrier to apply altogether. The modern job seeker has zero interest in creating another user account to apply to your company. They simply want to upload their resume and move on overall. So my kind of premise in this article is basically saying that the ATS vendors need to come together and create essentially a single apply solution for every job seeker out there. Just imagine a world where they have this kind of easy applies, I call it. And the job seeker only has one, login to remember and one set of data to kind of worry about as they go along in the job search process. So Joe, you guys kind of tackle that problem. Just give us a quick synopsis of what WorkToday is first.
Sure. Yeah, WorkToday, in a nutshell, is a business that wants to put the job seeker first. So we want to be building products and services to kind of help their experiences through the job seeking process. And the ultimate goal for us to achieve on behalf of the job seeker is to get them into a job that they love, period. And so we lead with technology and helping these job seekers find those jobs. And so, we've been in business for about 5 years now. The business has evolved over the years, like any early stage venture. But we kind of came on this problem around the ATS job board kind of space, where we started learning that a lot of our users early on, when we were about a year old, realized that over 71% of the job seekers that were using WorkToday when we first started were actually not having issues finding work. They could go to 6 job boards and go to many different resources out there. But we learned that the biggest issue for them was actually applying to jobs. So like any entrepreneur, we kind of set forth in trying to learn about those issues and if we could solve them with technology. And luckily enough, we figured out a way to do so. And basically, what we ended up achieving was a true one-click solution that kind of sits on top of the major ATSs and allows a true one-click solution for the job seeker with zero integration required on those ATSs, which makes it very attractive. And so our belief is that, individuals that are applying to jobs, it should not be a full-time job to apply to a job. It just should not be a full-time job to apply to a job. And so we wanted to build a company that made that easier. and allow much more success for the people we care about, which are the job seekers.
Yeah. Very cool. No, I think it's something that, it's a big problem out there, right? Something that's a huge challenge to actually fix this. So I give you props for trying to tackle this problem, because
Tough
there are
problem.
very few people who are doing it overall.
Yeah.
We talked to our friends at JobSync a few months ago.
Yep.
Alex Murphy over there is doing some stuff around this. And to me, as an industry, it really calls for the ATS vendors, the big job boards kind of come together here and create something to make job search easier. And I wish it would happen. It's kind of a little bit of a pipe dream, I guess. Most people say, but let's do a demo of your product. We're going to bring up a video of it here.
Sure.
We'll kind of have you walk us through the demo, and then we'll take questions and kind of go from there. So
absolutely.
Let me get this queued up here. You
can probably start a few minutes into it, and I can high level go over as it kind of runs through the demo. And for anybody that's interested in seeing the full demo and learning more about our capabilities, I'm happy to jump on a call, a video chat myself, and run you through everything specifically.
Gotcha. All right, can you see the video here, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Which what time point should I start it at?
Put in a couple of minutes. It's probably good.
2?
Yeah.
All right. So again, just so just the use case here, or the what is it a plugin? Is it a download? Give a sense of what it is.
Yeah, great question. Let me quickly explain kind of where we were, where we are, and kind of where we're going with WorkToday. So basically, after we surveyed all of our users and realized the biggest pain point was applying to jobs, we set forth in building some underlying technology that allowed job seekers to fill out profiles and to have the ability to create a one-click solution for thousands of jobs out there that are on these ATSs. So we created a consumer product that anybody can download today called the WorkToday Wizard. Just go to worktoday.com and download. It's a Google Chrome extension that you download. It's a pretty neat tool that saves you a lot of time when applying to those jobs. You just fill out one profile, and it dances around your page and applies to the jobs that you want to apply for. So that's great. But when we released that, a few major job boards came to us and said, hey, we have a major problem, Joe. The big problem is that 90% of the job seekers that come to our big job board get kicked off to an ATS, because we basically pull in jobs from ATSs, and those third-party applications, we don't know if those job seekers are applying to it. We don't know if those are the right jobs for them. We know nothing. So 90% of those individuals clicking on a job that kicks them over to a third-party ATS disappear. Can you solve this problem? And so, as any entrepreneur should tell you, the answer is always yes. So my engineering team and I basically put our heads together and said, how can we figure out a solution and deliver it via API so job boards can benefit from our high-powered technology that converts traditional long-form applications into a one-click solution? And so we set down that path. And so what you're going to see here in this demo is essentially the back-end tech stack that is all delivered by API. And so all it's really doing here is it's taking a job. Think of this as an ugly job board that you'll see right here, the demo client application.
Okay.
Make believe this is a beautiful job board with this one job. Now, a job seeker will go ahead and click that job. And with our technology integrated into a job board, we can take all their data and information of their profile and match it to every single field on that job application in seconds. And then we can then position a submit button for that job seeker to convert that application. The good thing about this for the job board is that they now have metrics and data knowing that that job seeker applied to that job at InBev, whereas they never did before. But more importantly, the job seeker actually got to fill out a job application in under a minute, when it would generally take them anywhere from 38 to 42 minutes to fill out. And that is, again, a third-party app that job seekers get kicked off onto when the job board doesn't have that listing exclusively.
Yep.
And so this kind of demo as it kind of runs through. There's a lot of kind of detail to it, but at the end of the day, if you're a job board and you're interested in converting a lot of the third-party applications that you scraped onto your platform, and you want to keep your job seekers happy and convert them at the same time, you should be using our API to do so. We learned from the job boards and building this collectively with a few of them that they want all their data. They want to keep all their data. So we let the job boards keep all their data. You should look at WorkToday's API as merely a conversion tool that can ingest tremendous amounts of data from your job seeker's profile and match it against all of the fields and multiple ATSs and thousands of jobs that exist on the internet. And so we've built a lot of product, a lot of tools. We've integrated AI and a bunch of other initiatives to enhance the product on behalf of job boards. We feel like the way to attack this problem, just like you said, Chris, is working with the job boards. Many could look at us as a competitive kind of angle in working with them, but we don't look at it that way. We actually would agree with your sentiment, Chris, in saying that we want to work with all the job boards out there and have them understand, how powerful this tool can be and how quickly job seekers can actually get the satisfaction of applying to these jobs with the benefit of getting those jobs. That's where we come in, and that's what we're most proud of. And so as you see this running through, the job seeker wouldn't see that on their end. That is just behind the scenes. The job seeker would truly see a one-click solution. And we handle everything on the back end. So, the job seeker wouldn't know who WorkToday is. The only people who would know WorkToday are the job boards that utilize our API. And again, we have the free consumer product that we put out there that basically utilizes the same underlying technology that we constructed. And it's a cool little tool, and we're really proud of it. But at the end of the day, the best distribution to create a lot of value for the job seekers is through the job boards. And that's who we're looking to kind of help. And we're excited about it. And we're really proud of what we've built.
Yeah. And so what ATSs today do you currently tie into right now?
SuccessFactors, Talio, and BrassRing are the three. We have another 3 major coming on board in the pipeline. And the way that we've structured this and built this is that over the past 2.5 years, we've solely focused on building this underlying technology. We've built technology to essentially automate the libraries of every field out there, with also technology that can recognize any changes in ATSs, the structure of them, the questions. We've also recognized that most job boards don't actually have full profiles. Shocker. So if a job seeker comes on to a major job board, clicks a job that takes them over to an ATS application, and they only have 10% of their application filled out, it's hard for any one-click solution to actually apply to that job on their behalf, right? But we've built technology to auto-save all their information over a long period of time. So that profile is just going to enhance their ability to become 100% complete. Therefore, they can go ahead and apply to many jobs in a one-click fashion. So we've spent tremendous amounts of time, energy, and just effort and dollars trying to build the best product we can build with the job seeker mindset. Yeah. And that's really kind of made the difference for us.
How does the initial setup happen for the seeker in terms of, do they fill in something on WorkToday, or do they start their first application somewhere on an ATS and it just captures all that?
It's a great question. So if you want to download the Wizard, our consumer product that's free, you would fill out a full profile with us. And then anytime you are hovering over any job application that we cover, chances are we cover it, you'll see the browser extension light up and pop open, and it's a little wizard dancing around. And that you'll launch it, and it will start running around the pages and applying to that job for you. It will pop something up at the end and say submit, or it will say, hey, you're missing these 3 questions in this application. Can you lift 55 pounds? Are you a veteran? Things like that. And it will auto save all of that for you, and then you can submit on your behalf. On the enterprise solution, which is delivered by API, and those customers would be the job boards. Basically, we would work directly with the job boards, and essentially they would plug into our API. So they own all their own data. All the profile information they have on job seekers, that is totally theirs. We simply ingest it and categorize all the data that we've ingested on the profile that we have now. And we would then match that against all the fields in that given application and spit out a few of the missing questions that they don't have. Or if it's fully complete, then we would then pop up a screen on behalf of the job board. It would have no WorkToday logos or anything. And it would simply say, do you want to submit this job? And you just literally click submit. So
what if that ATS has like a login? Does your system kind of work around that?
Yeah, so actually it's a great question. We initially built a really great tool to auto login for individuals. We pulled that back because we just felt like the experience was a bit too quick and a bit too slick, where the job seeker was kind of shocked at how fast this process moved. So we decided to take that piece out. Although we have it and it's really powerful and pretty incredible, we decided to go through the traditional methods at first, where you have to create a username and password with that application. That's very standard. But everything after that is really where we come into play and can ingest all that information, match it against our library of millions and millions of fields and thousands of jobs on these ATSs, and get you that conversion that you really need as a job board. But again, more importantly, get that individual that is looking for a job, that job. And so that's really where we come into play.
Nice. Okay. And can ATSs also purchase the API or besides job boards?
Yeah, we only want to work with job boards to use our API. Those are our customers, not the ATSs. We love ATSs. We think it's great. We've talked to a bunch of them. We still want to have conversations with them. But we do believe that the real way to impact change here for the job seeker is to kind of use the job boards as distribution. So we are only talking to job boards and fielding conversations there where, yes, they can go plug into our API. We charge. It's a per application submitted fee. And that can range anywhere from 25 cents to 75 cents, and in some cases $1.50. But it really all depends on the unit economics of that job board, what kind of job they're serving. There's a lot that goes into it, but it's a very simple pricing model that we have. And on top of it,
like a cost per apply.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We believe in kind of, we believe in kind of putting your money where your mouth is, right? And because we're so confident of the technology that we've built, we want to show our partners in the job board industry that we don't need some sort of seat license, SaaS fee. That's not what we're interested in right now. What we want to prove is that we can gain conversion for you, and we want to get paid per conversion we get. And in some respects, that's exactly how the job board industry should work. But that's neither here or there.
Yeah. What kind of conversion rates are we talking about here? Going from what to what? Because the average, I think, is the average around, 5%.
Yeah.
Click to apply. So
I can tell you that, we've been seeing, and also have had executives at some leading job boards tell us the conversions jump anywhere from 10 to 20x, being able to convert those job seekers that get kicked off to those third-party applications. So it's a meaningful lift for the job boards, and again, meaningful conversion for the job seekers.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah.
And the time to apply once you have the system in place as a seeker is what? Is it essentially just one click, or is it?
Yeah. So because our technology can process all this data and all this information incredibly quick, some job boards want us to kind of slow the process down a bit for kind of user experience purposes. So the job seeker isn't kind of like, wow, that was too easy. Did I actually apply to it? So there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes. So we've actually slowed it down so that the job boards can actually show a much more kind of in sync model with applying to a job. However, instantaneously we can apply to these jobs, and we do it in various ways. And the way that we've structured kind of our underlying technology, the back end solution is basically, we can we can ingest tremendous amounts of applications, and that's what sets us apart from a lot of folks that are trying to do this and have done it. We've just went about it a very different way, and I would definitely say one of the major reasons why we're here where we are and how we've built it in such a great way is through kind of Brett, our CTO. And, we were lucky enough to get him. He was leading engineering over at Two Sigma, a big automated hedge fund in New York City. And so the way that we thought about kind of making decisions and how we built this solution for job boards, delivering it via API, is just a different level. And really proud of that.
Yeah. And you're a funded startup out of the Boston area. Do you go to a lot of, the HCM industry there is kind of pretty active these days with sites like Bullhorn and Jobcase and others. Any thoughts around what's happening up there?
We're actually a venture-backed early stage technology company. We're actually headquartered in Los Angeles. I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. And so, we're really lucky to have our investors on board. They've been super supportive. But more so, what we're learning, is, Brett is great at kind of handling the technology. I'm really good at going out in the field, meeting with customers, and, talking to partners, and really just spending a lot of time trying to get a better understanding of the job seeker. We worked on behalf of the city of Los Angeles at the WorkSource centers that they have over there, and essentially being able to kind of put hands in hands with hundreds and hundreds of job seekers on a weekly basis to learn about what their frustrations are and learn about how they used the wizard at first and how they wanted to kind of have a one-click solution. And so although we're a technology company and we're growing and, we're really excited about what we've built, on the other end of it, I think our approach in getting hands in hands is very strategic, and it's provided tremendous amounts of insight and value. And I think you'll see that come through in both our consumer product in the Wizard, as well as our API that job boards can license from us. So the activity that we've been seeing all over the country is amazing with HR tech. The New England area, I'm very bullish on. Obviously, I'm biased. I'm from the area. But I think there's a lot of interesting things happening. We plan on spending a lot of time out here talking with partners as well as the rest of the country. And Los Angeles is a really great market as well. So we're just really lucky and excited to kind of get after this opportunity.
Yeah, nice. What we talked about the cost already,
Sure.
And the ATSs you're covering. What else haven't I asked that I should be asking about the product?
Yeah, well, one of the major differentiators for us is there's zero integration with the ATSs. A lot of the individuals that are trying to build solutions like this and license out to job boards spend a lot of time, energy, effort to kind of create an integration with some of the major ATSs. That's great. We've had discussions with a lot of them. What we've learned is that it won't get you a true one-click solution the way that we wanted to provide it to a job seeker. It may get you to the 50-yard line, but we're into getting touchdowns. I would say that a lot of the information they don't want to kind of release, right? I don't think that the ATSs are in the business of releasing all of their kind of field data to the job boards to create that solution. I think they may look at it as kind of a missed opportunity on their end. Although innovation is occurring at such rapid paces at the moment, and it constantly will, that will never change. I think the job boards have been much savvier at thinking to fill the top of the funnel with job seekers and getting those profiles. And I think what we're interested in is sort of the bottom of the funnel as it relates to kind of conversion. And the only way you kind of get conversion is to use those job boards who are really great at top of the funnel activity to kind of garner that conversion. And I just think that ATSs are generally, they're large organizations that have built some really meaningful and purposeful technology. I look at the ATSs as the highways, and I look at job boards as the toll booth. And for no other reason than monetization purposes, I just see it like that. Yeah. And we want to satisfy both, but our technology solution does not require that integration. And that sets us apart from anybody else. And it allows us to do much more than some of the other folks that need to depend on that.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the LinkedIn apply, the Indeed apply buttons.
Yeah.
Do you consider those kind of an alternate to this, or a competitor, or how do you view those types of features?
Well, one, I'll say when Microsoft bought LinkedIn, I think that will go down in history as one of the best M&A deals ever. I think LinkedIn is
also the most expensive, $26 billion.
Sure. Yeah, it will look like a deal in the next 10 years, because essentially when I think personally that deal represents innovation. It represents taking a profile aggregator, a network effect that is LinkedIn, but then playing to their strong suit, which is getting people to fill out full profiles of themselves, just like a resume.
Yeah.
And then being able to leverage all that data into getting businesses that they're already recruiting on the platform to post jobs. It kind of cuts out that ATS dependency. Therefore, they've built a very compelling business model that only certain companies can do if you have that tremendous amount of scale and adoption at the top of the funnel. And they've kind of worked their way down to the bottom of the funnel with conversion. So their one-click application is top tier. So I look at them as doing a really great job, and we love what those guys are doing there. When I look at other job boards, they're in a different bucket. And that's nothing against them. It's just the way that they've kind of structured their operations and how they think about getting people through applications. I look at job boards and I see that they're in the business of, however they monetize, CPC or seat license, many different ways. They're not in the business of getting people a job. They're in the business of getting profile information, or as much as they can, and connecting them to the businesses that pay. That's great. But as it relates to getting them to fill out full profiles, they struggle. And some of the top ones in the world struggle. And that's no different than any other technology company struggling to get personal information so that they can help you. But when they show a one-click solution, they're generally asking your first name, last name, and email address, maybe a few other pieces of information. And I would ask you, Chris, would you hire somebody with their first name, last name, and email address? I probably wouldn't. So it's not a true one-click solution. It's marketed as such, but it's not the intended purpose. And in a way, it bothers me when I see that, and I don't see the execution there, because it impacts the job seeker. It impacts that person that literally is applying to 5 jobs a day and it's taking them 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job applying to jobs. It just shouldn't happen. And that's really what drives us at WorkToday, is to help those people. And but I look at LinkedIn; they're doing fantastic. I think they're leading the charge. We're following right behind them, trying to help power some of these job boards. And then excited about what we do have with the Wizard, the consumer product. There's a lot that we can do as a company that can provide much more value to job seekers outside of using job boards as a distribution model. But, that's down the road a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting technology, Joe. Certainly appreciate the effort in terms of making job search better. So shout out to you guys there at WorkToday. Tell everyone where to go connect with you and how to get the product and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to us by going to our website, worktoday.com. You can also reach out to me personally at joe@worktoday.com as well. And I'm happy to directly connect with you and talk to you a little bit further about how we can help you, the job boards. And then if there are any consumers out there or any partnerships people are interested in kind of putting our Wizard in front of, I'm also happy to talk to you about that as well. And thank you very much, Chris, for the time. I really appreciate it. And looking forward to being helpful as I can.
Yeah, no worries. I'll share this on my Job Board Secrets YouTube channel, and of course, RegTech Media as well. Don't forget, March 19th, my next show with team over at Recruitix. We're going to talk about 3 ways to leverage Google for recruitment advertising, Google marketing. And we'll talk about the Gmail ads, which is a new topic, Google AdWords, and also Google for Jobs. So March 19th at 1 o'clock Eastern, regtechlive.com for all the past shows and replays. Joe, good to chat with you today, and We'll see you around. Okay.
Likewise. Thanks so much.
All righty. Take care, everyone. That's it for today.